mistakes. Common mistake 1. Using same password for multiple accounts. Sure, using the same password for multiple accounts seems like a great way to save you from having to remember so many passwords. But if a hacker hacks one of your accounts, or your accounts and password are involved in a data breach, a hacker is likely to try your compromised password to gain access to other accounts you might have elsewhere. Use a unique and strong password for each of your accounts to help prevent hackers from leveraging one password to compromise multiple accounts. Common mistake 2. Weak passwords. When you use multiple passwords that are not complex, you expose yourself to the risk of attacks. It is a kind of attack when an attacker is using special software to guess the password for your account. The shorter and simpler password you use, the sooner a hacker will guess it, and you don't use password like 12345 or QWERTY, or even slightly better ones like KC86 or Cubes 190, because you put some thought into them. Your passwords are better than those, right? Maybe, but unless you avoid a little known mistake recently uncovered by password researchers, there's a good chance your password will still be far easier for hackers to crack than you think. Can you tell how strong a password is? Try to figure out which of these 4 are a pushover for hackers. Common mistake 3. Using weak or no wireless encryption on your wireless network. If you have a wireless network in your home and that is not encrypted, or using a weak encryption, then you are basically letting anyone and everyone have access to the internet connection you are paying your hard-earned money for. You're also helping potential hackers by allowing them an avenue for entering on your network traffic or doing bad things that will get traced back to your connection. You might have encryption turned on, but you might be using the outdated and extremely hackable web-based encryption. WEP is easily cracked by most hackers and is pretty useless as a form of protection. Consider implementing WPA2 based encryption with a strong SSID name and a strong pre-shared key wireless network password. You can learn more about WPA2 in our article on implementing wireless encryption. Common mistake 4. Using unknown flash drives. Backing up your files and your system is important, but always be careful when inserting someone else's flash or USB drive into your computer. External devices can be filled with malware, and all it takes is for one well-placed left-behind drive to infect an entire network. The bottom line, if it is not your device, then don't use it. Scan your device regularly for viruses and other malicious programs to make sure that you are not victim of hacking. Common mistake 5. Responding to pop-up messages and unsolicited emails. Checking links in unsolicited emails and pop-up messages is often a very quick route to having your computer infected with malware. Treat all unsolicited emails with a high degree of suspicion. Be leery of any and all pop-up messages. Even informative pop-ups may be clickjacking attempts in disguise. Turn on your browser pop-up blocking feature and also consider using browser plugins such as NoScript to protect yourself from malicious pop-ups. Mistake 6. Answering phishing emails. As reported by Canadian government, Get Cyber Safe sites, 80,000 users fall for phishing scams every day. The next time you get a phishing email, one that says you have won lottery, need to click here to avoid IRS fines or to see shocking videos, delete it immediately. There's no point clicking it. Most email systems have spam filters to catch these messages, but always check the sender. Not just the name, but also the email address as well. And make sure it is trusted contact before clicking on any link you receive over email. Common mistake 7. Using unpatched operating system and applications. The timely application of security patches is extremely important these days. Hackers and cyber criminals are counting on the fact that many of their potential victims likely have unpatched vulnerabilities present on their system. Hackers will exploit these vulnerabilities to gain entry into a victim's computer. The sad thing is that these kind of attacks are often prevented if the user keeps his or her system patched with the latest available security patches. Turn on your operating system auto-update feature so that your computer can automatically install security patches as soon as they're made available from your operating system vendor. Common mistake 8. Using Wi-Fi, public Wi-Fi. Do not ever use any public Wi-Fi network to access your personal information. These networks are often not secured, and even worse, they could be a trap. Bad guys know that users expect to see a network called coffee shop Wi-Fi when they stop in and at the local cafe for a hot drink, and create a tempting malware-laden access point for anyone who's willing to join. As soon as you join the network, you could be given hacker access to password and other personal data. Want to pay bills or check your tax return? Do it from home where you know your network is safe. Mistake number 9. Turning off security features. Sometimes users will disable their entire firewall because they are having trouble with a particular application connecting to the internet rather than troubleshooting the problem. They might just disable the firewall altogether in order to get application working. They may forget to turn the firewall back on once they have finished with that application. Or they may decide that the trouble that they thought the firewall was causing isn't worth the protection it was providing. Antivirus protection is sometimes another thing that frequently gets turned off. Some people shut it off in hopes that turning it off will boost their computer's performance for a game or other resource-intensive application. These security features protect your computer and your data from harm. They are essential to your overall security. Removing or disabling them is like removing the front door of your house just because you don't like the creaking sound it makes. So beware and do not turn off your security features. Mistake 10. Websites mistake by web developers. Security mistakes web application developers should never make at all. What are these security principles? What are these security principles? What security mistakes should you never make? To help you answer those questions, we have compiled advice from some experts in the field as well as some of our own and listed everything. Developing your own security method. Don't do it. Some developers make the flawed assumption that a homegrown algorithm or authentication method is actually far safer. After all, hackers have never seen it before, so they will have more trouble cracking it right. No, wrong. Developing your own authentication or login method is a mistake because you will make a mistake that hackers will discover, says James Kelly. Why are existing libraries more secure? Because they are constantly tested by the security community. As such, they are less likely to include major security holes that one person might overlook. Accessing a database directly with a user's supplied information. Focusing on components, not the overall system. Adding security at the end of development. Letting users create weak passwords. Storing passwords in plain text. Storing data unencrypted in your database. You trust third-party code that cannot be trusted.